The Dark Cloud series is dead thanks to Level 5 and Sony. But why? What was Microsoft and Xbox's role in this mystery? It's time we find out what happened to the Dark Cloud series.
Hidden Castle's Dark Cloud Compendium.
Hey there, and welcome to the Dark Cloud Compendium. I'm your host, Hidden Castle.
Help me!
To solve the mystery behind what happened to our beloved Georama time-traveling, OPAR-filled series, we're going to be using Level 5 interviews and the American Trademark Office as our primary sources of information. Level 5 was a company that made Dark Cloud and Dark Chronicle. The company was founded in October 1998 through funding provided by Sony for the purpose of creating the next generation of RPGs that could showcase the power of the upcoming PlayStation 2. The name has a significant meaning as the 5 in Level 5 stands for 5-star software. In a 2018 interview with Level 5 founder and Dark Cloud creator Akihiro Hino, it was revealed that Level 5 was initially founded to be a subsidiary of Sony. What this means is that they would only create games for Sony's hardware, meaning that Sony owns sole ownership of the Dark Cloud series. This will be an important fact to remember later on. With that being said, what features would you like to see in a new next generation Dark Cloud title? Specifically, if I could have co-op Georama, that'd be the best. Let's get the conversation started in the comments below. I love to read, respond, and heart each and every one. I'm looking forward to it.
昔泳いだ川、野球やった広場、いやいや通った塾、大好きだった高井ちゃんち、怖い犬がいた家、初めて自転車に乗れた公園、取り戻したい故郷がある。ダーククラウド、プレイステーション2から。僕んち。プレイステーション。
It begs a question. What happened between Sony and Level 5? What happened to the Dark Cloud series? And who exactly owns the IP? Investigating Dark Cloud's legal trademark data filed by Sony's lawyers will help give us a better understanding of who exactly owns what in regards to Dark Cloud, and who can make decisions regarding the series' future. Notably, the trademark for Dark Cloud is solely owned by Sony Computer Entertainment Incorporated. The ownership of the trademark internationally is always assigned to Sony and Sony alone. Essentially, Level 5 is unable to do anything with the Dark Cloud series without the approval of Sony. Despite the fact that Level 5 developed the series, it's owned by Sony, so no chance of seeing Dark Cloud on Switch or PC anytime soon. To add further fuel to the fire, in 2018, Level 5 president Akihiro Hino was discussing the company's history. He mentioned that when the company initially began production in 1998, they were a first-party studio for Sony, but that changed after the Japanese development of Dark Chronicle wrapped up. This was around the time they were developing the ill-fated Fantasy Life MMORPG for the original Xbox, which was mysteriously cancelled for unknown reasons. But several speculate it was due to Sony's unhappiness with Level 5, as they were founded to be primarily a Sony studio, and Fantasy Life was announced in 2002, so work may have begun even earlier on that with Microsoft. Backdoor shady deals. Who knows? The mystery of Dark Cloud and Level 5's history only goes deeper. Now here's where the timeline gets a little foggy, but to my understanding, this would mean that around 2003, Level 5 negotiated their independence from Sony. Sony had full right and control to the Dark Cloud series and any other IP that they received funding for when working for Sony. There's some credence to this, as in Gamescom 2017, Polygon journalist Allegra Frank ran into Akihiro Hino and asked him what exactly would it take to see a new Dark Cloud game. Hino expressed his interest but relented, as ultimately it was Sony's call. He responded by saying, quote, "There has been a lot of requests and voices to create a Dark Cloud 3 or some form of Dark Cloud. That IP is co-owned or managed by Sony Computer Entertainment, so it's not something we can do or act upon on our own." End quote. Unpacking this quote even further illustrates that even if Level 5 5 and Akihiro Hino wanted to make a new Dark Cloud game, a Dark Cloud 3 maybe, they couldn't do it without Sony's approval. Did you know that Dark Cloud 3 was being developed by Level 5 all the way back in 2003? They even went as far as to announce it in Japan only. You could learn the full history of Level 5's Dark Cloud 3 in our 1 hour long Dark Cloud 3 iceberg pinned in the comments below. With all that being said, what happened to Dark Cloud? Essentially, Level 5 created the Dark Cloud and Dark Chronicle IPs. However, it was Sony who was funding its development, owning it outright, meaning that Sony gets final say over the Dark Cloud series. Unfortunately, Level 5 can't use the Dark Cloud name legally on their own without the blessing of Sony. With that being said, since Dark Cloud and Dark Chronicles release, we've seen Level 5 dabble with Georama from White Knight Chronicles' robust online GeoNet system in 2008 to Ni no Kuni's Kingdom Creation Suites a decade later in 2018. They're clearly still interested in Georama RPGs, so why not create a spiritual sequel already? We may have our answer in a Level 5 video interview, as when they're promoting Ni no Kuni 2, Akihiro Hino discussed the Georama system's comeback. He said that with how interactive they made Ni no Kuni's Georama system, they could very well create a spin-off based off of that Georama system alone. Take a look.
Es handelt sich nicht Städtebau oder so etwas. Es ist etwas Aufregenderes, Dynamischeres. Und ich bin voll motiviert, diesen speziellen Teil des Spiels zu entwickeln, der sogar als eigenes Spin-off-Spiel veröffentlicht wird.
あの頃の僕たちは RPG を買うために胸高鳴らせて並んでいた。なのに今はダーククロニクル、あのドキドキが蘇る。プレイステーション。
The world of fan games never ceases to amaze me. From the spectacular to the soulful, talented fans have provided many robust experiences in the ROM hacking space, all made possible due to the passion of the community. The Dark Cloud community is no different. It did take its time. This began in the later 2000s when Georama-starved fans created several petitions calling for a new Dark Cloud game, the most notable fan movement being Operation Atla, which went as far as being headlined by Dollarama gaming sites like Kotaku. Let's be honest folks, Screw Attack was always better. They had the angry video game nerd. Aside from these headlines from Kotaku, which fell on deaf ears of Sony and Level 5, gradually with time we took matters in our own hands and started to craft our own Dark Cloud ROM hacks and experiences. The earliest record of Dark Cloud ROM hacking in our community was from SomeWhen, who created a patch that enabled the legendary Flapping Duster back into the game. Essentially, the Flapping Duster was a back floor item that remained forever inaccessible in the worldwide releases of Dark Cloud, due to a bug that rendered the item's drop rate to 0%, locking countless fans from the authentic, complete Dark Cloud experience. However, with the use of SomeWhen's Flapping Duster mod, this item's functionality is back in the game. This mod can be used on both real hardware and on emulation. And this brings us to the biggest Dark Cloud mod yet, the Dark Cloud Enhanced Program. A community mod made by the team of Word of Wind, Mike Sword, Deyuppie, Glitched, and Hidden Castle, which works with PlayStation 2 emulation and provides several new quality-of-life features, gameplay additions, side quests, and tweaks to a beloved favorite, visual and graphical improvements, a customization window. You even get to play as other party members in the Georama mode, complete with a new 70-page dialogue script penned by yours truly to provide new interactions and lore between villagers and the new playable characters. The team of Word of Wind, Mike Sword, Deyuppie, Glitched, and Hidden Castle worked on this mod for years to ensure that it's the definitive way to experience Dark Cloud. Now I create a quick 4-minute guide on how to play Dark Cloud Enhanced and set up the program. Link can be found in the description below. Survey time. What would Dark Cloud look like if it got an 8K remaster with reworked lighting? Thanks to the hard work and efforts of Del Talal, or Tal for short, we no longer have to imagine. The Dark Cloud Remastered project is headed by Tal and seeks to upscale the standard definition textures into 8K resolution, adding ray tracing and more. Wow! Did it always look this good? Sony, this is what Dark Cloud and Dark Chronicle on PS4 should have looked like. A fan work that's a labor of love, by the fan, for the fans. The best compliment that I can give this project is that it looks exactly like I remember Dark Cloud looking like in 2001 when I first saw it, and that's all thanks to the efforts of Dark Cloud community member Tal. This project has been in the works for a couple of years now, as Tal had to manually upscale over 86,000 textures. But as Mama Castle used to say, if you're doing a big job, you better do it with love. And it's clear to see that this project is a labor of love. This exciting visual mod should be out soon for PCSX2. When it's out, I'll be sure to create a video guide on how to run this really cool looking project. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Dark Cloud and Dark Chronicle chest randomizers made by Word of Wind. These all add a sense of replayability to an old classic. This community has thought of everything. But what about a new video game that carries the spirit of our classic Georama RPGs? Well, Castle Maniacs, let me introduce you to SomeWhen. SomeWhen is a classic indie RPG being worked on by Sundial Shark, inspired by both the amazing Chrono Trigger and Dark Chronicle, where you play as Idol tasked with saving the world, all while traveling through time on a magical train. Sound familiar? This game wears its inspiration and heart on its sleeve. It even features invention and diorama mechanics, with a heavy emphasis on creation, similar to the Dark Cloud series. Everything about this game just seems so familiar, like a classic Super Nintendo game that we never got. The sprite-based visuals and animations are full of charm. I'd love to see this running on a CRT. SomeWhen is an independent production created by the solo artist, Sundial Shark. It's hard to say when it will release. It does have a Steam page with a wishlist option, but it's a one-man show so far. It's definitely a project to keep your eye on. Until then, we can only watch and be amazed. As of the recording of this video, we have yet to see anything new relating to Dark Cloud. Despite Sony's ownership, Level 5 toyed around with the idea of creating a spiritual successor through their online Geonet system and Ni no Kuni 2's Kingdom creation system, but they never truly committed to the idea. However, the legend goes, every Dark Cloud has a silver lining, and that silver lining is our very own Dark Cloud community. It's breathtaking seeing how passionate the Dark Cloud community has been for the last 20 years. It's only continued to grow, with users all around the world gathering around these digital campfires, celebrating their passion for this series. With a heavy heart, the Dark Cloud series may have only had 2 games, but those 2 titles clearly made an impact. Previously, I had the honor of interviewing Dark Cloud voice actors and singers who worked on Dark Cloud 2, and to our surprise, even they fondly remember this title. There truly was something there for everyone. Our passion is never ending. So what happened to the Dark Cloud series? Sony owns the IP, and unfortunately, Level 5 is not able to do anything with it without the blessing of Sony, but that won't change the fact that these 2 games will live on forever. With that being said, thank you for visiting the Dark Cloud Compendium. I'm your host, Hidden Castle, and I hope you have a great day. Take care. Hey there, and welcome to the Dark Cloud Compendium. My name's Hidden Castle, your guide, and I wanted to say thank you for supporting the channel throughout the years. This is our first video for 2024. The year is going by so fast and it's been very chaotic, but this year is going to be special as we're going to be focusing our efforts on Dark Cloud Lost Media. Media from Dark Cloud that we've been looking for, that we've been investigating for years with no answers. That is, until now. Now, this is something that's very near and dear to my heart, the topic of lost media and digital archaeology. And I know that many of you share the same sentiment, and I'm excited to share all these videos with you all. Until then, thank you for supporting the channel. Without you all, this journey just wouldn't be as fun, would it? Thank you for everything, from the bottom of my Hidden Castle heart. So they say. Take care. Adios.
This video is made possible by amazing viewers like you and contributions from our generous patrons. Thank you.
The World of the Compendium is a Patreon-supported show. These deep dive videos would not be possible if not for the support of all my generous patrons. I'm forever grateful. Patrons are able to get a behind-the-scenes look with how these videos are created and get to help support the channel. With that being said, many thanks to my viewers and patrons, both new and old alike, for all the support. It's our combined passion for obscure RPGs that keeps the show going strong. The link to the Patreon can be found in the description below. Many thanks to my Compendium chroniclers, GD Break, Waposa, Anna, Story Lover, Ryan7, Weeb Warrior. Many thanks to our Moon Sea Mega Supporters who have a message to the community. Moon Sea Mega Supporter GD Break says, the two best ways to judge a person's character are 1. How much they love Dark Cloud, and 2. Their dedication and support for Hidden Castle's Dark Cloud Compendium. What? You're not subscribed yet? What are you waiting for? That's so cool of you, GD Break. Thank you. And thank you to all my viewers and patrons alike for watching the Dark Cloud Compendium. Here's to the new year. Take care, folks.